Tulsi Gabbard says she wants to hold Hillary Clinton accountable with $100 million lawsuit, saying, "Calling her a Russian asset was a smear on my character and dedication to serving our country." Tulsi Gabbard is suing Hillary Clinton for defamation. Clinton indicated she thinks Gabbard is a Russian plant in 2020 race. "I will not stand quietly by as Hillary Clinton or anyone else tries to smear my character and my loyalty and dedication to serving our country," Gabbard said. Gabbard's complaint accuses Clinton of retaliating against Gabbard for her endorsement of Bernie Sanders in the 2016 Democratic presidential primary. "Clinton, a cutthroat politician by any account, has never forgotten this perceived slight," the complaint reads. Complaint also charges Clinton reserves a special hatred and animosity for Tulsi, who never endorsed Clinton, did not campaign for her. Gabbard is suing Clinton for monetary damages and special damages by Emily Gooden, Sr. Use political reporter for DailyMail.com, published 1:26 Greenwich Mean Time, the 23rd of January 2020, updated 2:37 Greenwich Mean Time, the 23rd of January 2020. Tulsi Gabbard said she is suing Hillary Clinton for at least $100 million in damages to hold the former Secretary of State accountable after she indicated she thinks the Hawaii Congresswoman is a Russian plant in the 2020 presidential race. "I will not stand quietly by as Hillary Clinton or anyone else tries to smear my character and my loyalty and dedication to serving our country," and filed a lawsuit against her for that defamation to hold her accountable, Gabbard told voters during a town hall meeting in New Hampshire Wednesday night. She received a round of applause at her remarks. Gabbard's lawsuit argues the Congresswoman has proven her loyalty to America through her military service in the Army National Guard, charges Clinton with hurting Gabbard's presidential bid, and outlines Gabbard's belief Clinton made the comments in retaliation for Gabbard endorsing Bernie Sanders in the 2016 Democratic primary. Tulsi Gabbard said she is suing Hillary Clinton for at least $100 million in damages to hold the former Secretary of State accountable. And February 2016, Tulsi believed the best Democratic presidential candidate for our country was Senator Bernie Sanders. She also knew that Clinton had a stranglehold over the Democratic Party and that crossing Clinton, who considered herself the inevitable nominee, could mean the end of her own political career. Yet Tulsi put the country before herself, and she publicly endorsed Senator Sanders, becoming the most prominent politician to do so at the time. The complaint reads, "Clinton, a cutthroat politician by any account, has never forgotten this perceived slight." And in October 2019, she sought retribution by lying, publicly and loudly, about Tulsi Gabbard, it adds. Gabbard is suing the former Secretary of State for monetary damage and for legal fees, a total of at least $100 million. The suit notes Gabbard has lost more than $50 million in damages. The defamatory statements have caused Tulsi to lose potential donors and potential voters who heard the defamatory statements. Tulsi has suffered significant actual damages, personally and professionally, that are estimated to exceed $50 million, the complaint reads. The complaint also argues Gabbard should be awarded at least another $50 million in special damages, bringing the total to at least $100 million. Tulsi is entitled to appropriate special and punitive damages in view of Clinton's malicious and unrepentant conduct. The amount of these damages will be proven at trial, but in no event should they be less than the amount of Tulsi's actual damages, it reads. During the 2016 presidential campaign, Forbes estimated Bill and Hillary Clinton were worth $240 million, an amount that has likely risen in the past 4 years. Tulsi Gabbard is suing Hillary Clinton for defamation. Gabbard's complaint accuses Hillary Clinton of retaliating against Gabbard endorsing Bernie Sanders in the 2016 Democratic presidential primary. Clinton spokesman Nick Merrill told CNN the lawsuit is ridiculous. Gabbard, in her lawsuit that she filed in Clinton's home state of New York, charges Clinton with unable to get over the 2016 election and having a special hatred and animosity for the Congresswoman. Clinton has not gotten over her loss in that election and still dwells on what happened. Clinton blames many persons for her loss, the complaint reads, adding, Clinton reserves a special hatred and animosity for Tulsi, who never endorsed Clinton, did not campaign for her, and to top it off, gave the nomination speech for Senator Sanders at The 2016 Democratic National Convention. The complaint also accuses Clinton for having no basis for making her charge against Gabbard. Clinton had no basis for making her false assertions about Tulsi, and indeed, there is no factual basis for Clinton's conspiracy theory. Clinton's peddling of this theory has harmed Tulsi, has harmed American voters, and has harmed American democracy. Tulsi brings this lawsuit to ensure that the truth prevails and to ensure this country's political elites are held accountable for intentionally trying to distort the truth in the midst of a critical presidential election. The complaint reads, Tulsi has suffered anguish and damage to her reputation, with direct and substantial injury to her positions as United States Congresswoman, presidential candidate, and officer in the Army National Guard. It adds, Gabbard's presidential campaign has struggled to gain traction and she did not meet the qualifications for the last two presidential primary debates. She has 1.3% in the Real Clear Politics polling average on the race for the Democratic nomination and is second from the bottom in rankings. Gabbard also has said she won't see re-election to her congressional district in Hawaii so she can focus on her presidential bid. Clinton made her accusation against Gabbard in an October 2019 interview. Clinton, who lost the 2016 election in part because of Russian interference that helped Donald Trump, claimed Moscow was at it again. I'm not making any predictions, but I think they've got their eye on somebody who is currently in the Democratic primary and are grooming her to be the third-party candidate, Clinton said in an interview. She's the favorite of the Russians. Clinton did not mention Gabbard by name in the interview with former Obama advisor David Plouffe for his podcast, but her accusation appeared directed at the congresswoman from Hawaii, who's been accused in the past of being cozy with Moscow. They have a bunch of sites and bots and other ways of supporting her so far, Clinton added. Gabbard points out in her lawsuit that no American intelligence agency has said she is a Russian asset and adds she has never lost a security clearance, which she has held both as a member of the military and through her committee assignments in Congress. No United States law enforcement or intelligence agencies have claimed, much less presented any evidence, that Congresswoman Gabbard is a Russian asset. As a member of the House Armed Services Committee, Foreign Affairs Committee, and Homeland Security Committee, and as a major in the United States Army National Guard, with access to highly sensitive and classified information, Tulsi has never had her security clearances challenged or revoked, it reads. Gabbard's lawyer called the Hawaii Congresswoman a loyal American civil servant. Tulsi Gabbard is a loyal American civil servant who has also dedicated her life to protecting the safety of all Americans. Rep. Gabbard's presidential campaign continues to gain momentum, but she has seen her political and personal reputation smeared and her candidacy intentionally damaged by Clinton's malicious and demonstrably false remarks. Brian Dunn, counsel to Gabbard and partner at Pierce Bainbridge Beck Price. Clinton's political background to act with a greater level of maturity and dignity, but her personal hostility toward Representative Gabbard apparently clouded Mrs. Clinton's reason and blinded her to U.S. defamation laws. She resorted to a damaging whisper campaign founded on lies, and when presented with the opportunity to retract her damaging remarks, she refused. Representative Gabbard must defend her good name and hold Mrs. Clinton responsible. This lawsuit intends to do just that, he added. Tulsi Gabbard in Syria. In January 2017, Gabbard is suing Clinton for monetary damage. Clinton's spokesman Nick Merrill doubled down on the former Secretary of State's comments at the time. If the nesting doll fits, he told reporters when asked if Clinton meant Gabbard in her interview. Clinton was not the first person to raise questions about Gabbard's ties to Russia, and the Congresswoman has faced questions about a January 2017 trip to Syria that she made in an unofficial capacity. In the Democratic primary debate in Ohio preceding Clinton's interview last year, Gabbard defended herself from claims she is a Russian asset, calling them completely despicable. She also defended her trip to Syria, where she met with its dictator Bashar al-Assad, who is an ally of Russian President Vladimir Putin. Just 2 days ago, the New York Times put out an article saying that I'm a Russian asset and an Assad apologist, and All these different smears, she said during the debate. This morning a CNN commentator said on national television that I'm an asset of Russia, completely despicable, she said of the comments, and then promised, as president I will end these regime change wars. In October 2019, the New York Times published an article entitled, "What, exactly, is Tulsi Gabbard up to?" and noted her candidacy is supported by alt-right internet stars, white nationalists and Russians. On Tuesday morning, the morning of the debate, CNN political commentator Bakari Sellers had said, there is no question that Tulsi Gabbard, of all the 12, is a puppet for the Russian government." Gabbard earns frequently mentions in Russian propaganda and media. She is a regular subject on RT, the news agency backed by the Kremlin. Some Democrats have feared Gabbard could make an independent third-party presidential bid, which would draw votes away from the Democratic nominee and result in Donald Trump's re-election. Clinton referenced those fears in her interview, when she accused Russia of meddling again in American politics. U.S. intelligence agencies also have warned about foreign interference in this November's contest but have not mentioned Gabbard. Trump has defended Gabbard from the charge, saying she is not a Russian agent. Gabbard has defended herself from meeting with Syria's President Bashar al-Assad, who is a close ally of Russian President Vladimir Putin. In her interview with Plouffe, Clinton also accused Jill Stein, the Green Party candidate in both the 2012 and 2016 elections, of being a Russian asset. That's assuming Jill Stein will give it up, which she might not because she's also a Russian asset, Clinton said. Yes, she's a Russian asset, I mean, totally. They know they can't win without a third-party candidate. Congressional reports on the 2016 election found that Stein was part of Russia's meddling effort into that year's presidential contest. NBC News reported Russian operatives boosted Stein's candidacy by targeting voters from key Democratic demographics, a move that would have hurt Clinton in the election. Stein earned nearly 1.5 million votes in the 2016 election and came in fourth. Trump has defended both women against Clinton's charges and did so again on Wednesday. And then what happened to Jill Stein of the Green Party? Gets called a Russian agent by crooked Hillary. And then Tulsi Gabbard, I don't know either of them, but I know they're not Russian agents. Gets called a Russian agent. This is what these people do. They demean in the press play, and because the press is largely their partner, the president said Wednesday at a press conference in Davos, Switzerland, where he's attending the World Economic Forum. Read more. Let's block ads. Why?